listen to me, because this message is not reaching you by accident. No, this is divine timing. This is sacred confirmation. You have been chosen, and today, the truth is being revealed to your spirit. There are forces trembling behind the veil right now. Forces that once laughed at you, mocked your silence, disrespected your kindness. But now, karma is knocking on their doors, and it's not coming gently. You've always felt different, haven't you? Since childhood. Like you were watching the world through another lens. Like you heard things others couldn't, sensed things others denied, and loved in ways that made people uncomfortable. They told you, you're too much. They said, you're too sensitive, but you were never too much. You were too real, too divine, and the world couldn't handle that. You are the chosen one. And for too long, you've walked in shadows created by people who couldn't understand your light. People who whispered behind your back, twisted your intentions, used your kindness like a stepping stone, and then called you weak. They underestimated the God within you. But now, every seed planted in pain is about to bloom in glory. And the weeds they tried to wrap around your destiny, watch them wither, watch them fall. There are people right now, yes, the same ones who tried to break your spirit, who are feeling the weight of what they did. You don't even need to lift a finger, because karma isn't punishment. Karma is balance, and that balance is being restored. The pain you carried in silence, the tears you shed behind closed doors, the betrayal that cut through your soul, it was never unseen. Heaven saw it all, and now heaven is responding. You weren't chosen because you were perfect. You were chosen because you were willing to rise even after being shattered, willing to forgive even when your heart was bleeding, willing to stay soft in a world that kept trying to harden you. That's strength most people can't even begin to comprehend. And that's exactly why the spiritual realm has marked you for elevation. But I know it hurt. I know what it felt like to give your all, only to be left empty. To cheer for people who wouldn't even clap for you. To be loyal to those who didn't even respect you. It wasn't fair, and maybe you thought for a while that being good only got you pain. But that's because your goodness was planted in the wrong soil. Soil that wasn't ready to nourish you, only to feed off you. That season is over. You're stepping into the justice you forgot to expect. Divine reversal is already unfolding. Those who laughed are about to be silenced, not by vengeance, not by hate, but by the undeniable glory of your life. God is using your story to reveal His power, and the same mouths that cursed your name will soon whisper it in awe. They don't know what they've done. They played with fire and thought they could contain it. They danced in the shadows, thinking you'd stay buried there. But you were never buried. You were planted. And now that quiet power within you, the one they overlooked, it's rising. It's roaring. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. Some of them are begging now, not always with words, but with actions, trying to come back, watching your life silently, mimicking your energy, your language, your peace. Because they sense what you carry now. They feel what's protecting you. It's not just confidence, it's not just healing, it's something higher, and it terrifies them. Because the truth is, they thought you were disposable, replaceable. They thought someone with your heart was common, but now they know. There's no one like you. Your love was sacred. Your presence was protection. Your energy was healing, and they mishandled it. But don't you dare shrink. Don't you dare doubt the power of this moment. What's happening right now in the spiritual realm is beyond your eyes, but not beyond your soul. You can feel it, can't you? The shift, the stirring, something divine is near, and everything that tried to hold you down is losing its grip. You've always been different because you were destined to make a difference. That deep ache in your soul. It wasn't depression. It was the weight of a calling the world kept trying to suppress. But you can't suppress what God has ordained. You can't bury what heaven has blessed. And now that you're walking in alignment, nothing, and I mean nothing, can stop what's coming to you. Yes, you were misunderstood. Yes, you were abandoned. Yes, you were lied on, taken for granted, even spiritually attacked. But what they didn't realize is, every attack strengthened your armor. Every wound sharpened your discernment. Every betrayal taught you divine strategy. You didn't just survive it, you were spiritually trained through it. This isn't just a comeback. This is a divine unveiling. You are not who you were. You are not bound by what they did. You are a rising flame in a dark world, a vessel for divine glory. And those who tried to extinguish your light, they're watching helplessly as you shine brighter than ever before. I feel it so strongly. This isn't just a message. This is a revelation. Something in your spirit is being unlocked right now. That heaviness, it's lifting. That confusion, it's breaking. The shame that wasn't even yours to carry, it's dissolving. Because the truth is, you were never the problem. You were the threat. And now that you know who you are, the tables are turning. This is your time. You don't need revenge. You don't need to prove anything. Just stand in the truth of who you are and watch what heaven does on your behalf. Because when God says it's your season, no lie, no curse, no enemy can stop it. They're begging now, not because you cursed them, but because your very life is the evidence that they were wrong, that you were divine all along. And now, chosen one, I need you to hear this with every fiber of your soul. The battles you've faced were never random. No, they were calculated tests, spiritual initiations, divine training grounds. Every betrayal, every rejection, every season of isolation was preparing you for the very moment that is unfolding now. While others were busy chasing clout and validation, you were being sculpted in the silence, shaped in the storm. God was building something in you that couldn't be built in comfort. That's why the pressure was so intense. That's why the attacks came from those closest to you. It wasn't strangers, it was family, friends, lovers. The very people who should have protected you became the sharpest thorns in your path. Why? Because the enemy knew he couldn't stop your destiny. So he tried to distract you through people. But even in your lowest moments, even when the world felt like it was collapsing around you, something inside you never died. That quiet voice, that inner whisper, that knowing that you were built for more. You see, the battles you've fought weren't just physical. They were spiritual wars dressed in human faces, smiling assassins, hidden envy, spiritual attacks cloaked in conversations that left you drained. You weren't paranoid, you were perceptive. You weren't emotional, you were empathic. And that sensitivity they mocked, it was actually your divine radar. You felt what others tried to hide. You heard what wasn't being said. And because of that, you became a mirror to their dysfunction. And that terrified them. You didn't just survive spiritual warfare. You endured what others would have been crushed by. You kept your heart soft in a world that thrives on coldness. You stayed humble while others bragged and lied. You gave love even when you had nothing left to give. That's not weakness, that's spiritual strength. And don't think for a second that God didn't see it. He watched you love without conditions. He watched you pray for people who threw stones. He watched you bless those who cursed you, not because you were naive, but because you are anointed. That's what they never understood. You weren't fighting them. You were battling to keep your soul clean, to not become like them. And that was your greatest victory. They thought your silence was weakness, but it was wisdom. They thought your kindness was ignorance, but it was divine strategy. While they were plotting your downfall, you were being hidden in the shadow of the Almighty. And now they can feel the shift. There is a trembling in the spirit realm, chosen one. The very forces that tried to destroy you are panicking. Why? Because your rising is near. Your name is being whispered in rooms where your feet haven't even stepped yet. Your presence is being felt in atmospheres where you haven't even arrived. And the ones who slandered you? They're watching in confusion as favor rains on your life like never before. You were the target because you carry something sacred, a divine light that exposes darkness, a prophetic presence that unsettles demons. Every room you walk into shifts, not because of your appearance, but because of your essence. People can't explain it, but they feel it. That power, that depth, that authenticity. It's magnetic, and it's threatening to those who operate in deception. That's why they tried to dim you, to silence you, to make you question your worth. But now, everything they tried is backfiring. The very traps they set for you, they're falling into them. The lies they told, they're unraveling. The schemes they planned in secret, being exposed in broad daylight. And you don't have to lift a hand. You just have to stay aligned. God is not mocked. He's a God of justice, of timing, of order. And while it may have seemed like your enemies were winning, they were only digging their own graves. Spiritually, emotionally, and sometimes even materially. Because when someone touches a child of God, they don't just offend a person, they activate a consequence. Some of the people who wronged you are losing sleep now. Their conscience is restless. Their spirits are tormented because they know, deep down, that they touched something holy when they betrayed you. They mishandled sacred ground when they took advantage of you. And there is no peace for the wicked. That's not just scripture, that's spiritual law. But here's the beautiful part. You don't need to hate them. You don't even need to wish them harm, because your evolution is punishment enough. Your glow is justice. Your healing is the loudest victory. When you rise without revenge, you become untouchable, unstoppable. And that's exactly where you are now, walking into a season that no one can block, not even the ones who tried. Some of them are reaching out now, aren't they? Suddenly remembering your worth, trying to sneak back into your life through apologies, through memories, through fake humility. But don't be deceived. Just because they regret losing you doesn't mean they've changed. Sometimes guilt masquerades as love. Sometimes fear pretends to be accountability. Trust your discernment. You don't need closure from people God already removed. Because this next chapter of your life, it's sacred, it's protected, it's divinely orchestrated, and not everyone is allowed to come. Let them watch from afar. Let them feel the weight of what they gave up. You're not being cruel. You're honoring your journey. You're guarding your peace. You're moving in obedience to a higher calling. What's ahead of you is too precious to be contaminated by old energy. Your destiny is demanding a cleaner frequency, a deeper level, a higher standard, and that's why the shaking has begun. God is removing anything and anyone that cannot go with you, even if it hurts, even if it confuses you. Trust the pruning. It's not rejection, it's redirection. And everything that's being taken from your life is making space for something greater. So, keep walking with your head held high. Keep moving with grace and power, because you are not who they thought you were. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You are the chosen one, hand-picked, heaven-backed, and spiritually armed. And now the heavens are roaring on your behalf. Watch closely. Listen carefully, because those same voices that tried to silence you will soon be forced to speak of your greatness. Not because you demanded it, but because the evidence of your elevation will be undeniable. Your glow is speaking louder than their gossip. Your favor is drowning out their envy. This is not just a rise, it's a revelation. God is about to make an open display of what He's placed inside you. The tables aren't just turning, they're being flipped in your favor. Every attack made you stronger. Every loss prepared you. Every delay protected you. And now it's time to walk boldly into what is rightfully yours. Chosen one, brace your spirit, because what's coming is not small, it's not subtle, it's not quiet. This is public justice. What was done in the dark, the lies, the sabotage, the manipulation, is about to be brought to the light. Not for you to gloat, but so the world can see what God does when someone keeps their heart pure. This is vindication on a level you couldn't even imagine. People thought they buried you with their silence, with their betrayal, with their assumptions, but God was only hiding you, preserving you, preparing you. And now he's ready to reveal you. This isn't just your moment, this is your unveiling. You see, there comes a time in every chosen one's journey when God flips the script. The same way he lifted Joseph from a prison cell to the palace. The same way David went from overlooked shepherd boy to mighty king. That same divine pattern is playing out in your life now. You were in the background, unseen, counted out, but that was strategic. Heaven has a way of keeping its greatest vessels hidden until the right time. And beloved, this is the time. The very people who used your name as a punchline are about to watch it become a praise report. The ones who gossiped, who said you were too spiritual, too emotional, too intense. Those same people are about to witness your glow up, and they won't be able to explain it, because it won't make logical sense. Favor rarely does, but you'll know. You'll know. This is God. This is the reward for not cursing them back, for not playing dirty when you had every right, for staying loyal to your own integrity. You chose the high road, and now heaven is elevating you. The weapons formed, yes, but they didn't prosper. And now the fruit of your endurance is about to fall into your lap like a harvest long overdue. You don't even have to prove them wrong, because God is going to prove you right. Everything they said you couldn't do, you're going to do it with grace. Everything they said you'd never become, you're becoming it right now, and they'll have no choice but to watch. That's the justice of the Most High, not spite, not ego, evidence. You're the evidence that faith still works, that obedience still matters, that keeping a clean heart still opens doors no man can shut. And let me tell you something deep. When the reversal comes, it's not just a change of circumstances, it's a cleansing of identity. You're not just getting your blessings, you're reclaiming your name which they tried to stain with slander, your name which they threw in the mud, your name which they disrespected when you weren't around to defend it. God is about to exalt that very name because it was never their name to speak on. It was a name he anointed. Chosen one, this is your divine reversal. You will not leave this chapter with the same pain you entered it with. You will not carry the shame that was projected onto you. That shame is not yours. Those burdens, not yours. That guilt, not yours. You are not defined by the way they treated you. You are defined by the way you kept your soul intact through it all. And now, it's time to rise, not just physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, energetically. You are rising into alignment, into clarity, into confidence. This is the healing you forgot you were even worthy of. And it's happening because you dared to keep going. When others gave up, you dug deeper. When others faked their peace, you fought for yours. And I feel this so strongly in my spirit. You're not just healing for yourself. You're healing for generations. You're breaking cycles. You're undoing patterns. You're silencing ancient lies passed down through bloodlines. That's why the warfare was so intense. That's why the pain felt like it would drown you. Because you weren't just facing your own battles. You were facing what others before you couldn't survive. But you made it. By divine strength, by unseen angels, by the Spirit holding you up in moments you thought you were alone. You made it. You're still standing. And now every tear is being turned into power. Every scar is becoming a portal to purpose. I want you to hear me now. You are victorious. Not just in theory, not just in spirit, but in reality. Your wins are manifesting. Your alignment is here. Your clarity is rising like the sun. That confusion that hovered over your life, it's breaking. That fog of self-doubt, gone. That fear of being too much, it's melting in the fire of your purpose. This is not just healing. This is an awakening, a deep remembrance of who you were before the world got its hands on you, before trauma distorted your vision, before manipulation made you second-guess your instincts. You are returning to your original blueprint, the one God spoke over you before you ever took your first breath. And with that remembrance comes a responsibility. Do not go back. Don't return to small places out of nostalgia. Don't reopen doors God has shut. Don't shrink just to make others comfortable. If they couldn't honor you in your desert, they don't get access to your garden. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them sit with their choices. Your job now is to protect the promise, to guard the oil on your life. Because this favor, this anointing, this next level, it's sacred and not everyone can go with you. Some people were only part of your past to highlight the contrast of your future. Don't carry dead weight into divine spaces. You are not bitter. You are better. You are not broken. You are rebuilt. And you are not alone. Heaven is backing you. Angels are walking with you. The Spirit of God is surrounding you. You are covered. You are called. And you are rising. So now I invite you, not just as a viewer, not just as a listener, but as a fellow spiritual warrior. Take this moment and claim your victory. Speak it aloud. Feel it in your bones. Whisper it into your day. I am the chosen one. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. What God has for me is mine. I walk in divine justice, divine favor, and divine timing, and it is so. Say it again. Let it sink in. Say it until it no longer feels like a hope, but a reality. Because it is your reality. It's unfolding even now. Doors are opening in your name. Opportunities are being aligned with your frequency. The blessings are not coming. They're here. And you'll recognize them because they won't feel like force. They'll feel like flow. You've done the work. You've faced the darkness. And now the light is claiming you. Not just around you, within you. Chosen one, this is your public rise. And nothing, not the past, not the pain, not the people who walked away, can stop the divine reversal already in motion. You are the walking evidence of what happens when you let God fight your battles. Have you ever asked yourself, why me? Why did they come for me? Why did I have to carry so much pain, confusion, and betrayal? Why couldn't I just have a normal path like everyone else? And that question, that ache in your soul, is something every chosen one has whispered into the silence of the night. But now you're ready for the truth. They came for you because they sensed what you carry, not with their eyes, but with their spirits. Long before you knew your own power, they felt it. Your presence disturbed their demons. Your light revealed their darkness. You didn't need to speak a word. You simply walked into the room, and everything in them that was fake, wounded, or deceitful started to tremble. The attacks weren't personal, they were spiritual. You were marked from birth, a light in a family of shadows, a breaker of curses in a generation that stayed asleep. You threatened systems, energies, and cycles that had gone unchallenged for decades. Of course they came for you. Of course they targeted your peace, your mind, your identity. You are a divine disruption. You are spiritual fire wrapped in skin. The paradox of your pain is that the more divine your purpose, the more ruthless the warfare. People with small callings don't get attacked like this. People who are content living in the shallows never feel the depth of what you've endured, because you were never meant to stay small. And that made you dangerous to everything that thrives in spiritual mediocrity. You were chosen because you were built to transcend. But I need you to understand something crucial. Many of the people who hurt you didn't even fully understand why they did it. On a soul level, they recognized your power. But on a conscious level, all they felt was discomfort, jealousy, and confusion. That's how spiritual warfare plays out in human form. It's subtle. It disguises itself as personality clashes, misunderstandings, betrayal. But beneath it all, it's the ancient war between light and dark, playing out through people who don't even know they're being used. You weren't attacked because you were weak. You were attacked because you were strong, because you had the capacity to heal, to forgive, to rise, to speak truth where others stayed silent. You carried a vibration that unsettled the status quo, and the enemy knew if you ever found out who you really were, it would be over. That's why the warfare started early. For many of you, it began in childhood. You were rejected by parents, bullied by peers, misunderstood by teachers, criticized by people who should have protected you. It wasn't random. The darkness saw your light before you even had words for it. The goal was to break you before you could blossom, to wound you so deeply you would never trust your gift, to make you question your own worth before you had a chance to step into your calling. But despite everything, you're still here, and that alone is a miracle. Because what they didn't realize is your wounds were gateways to your power. Every betrayal pushed you closer to God. Every rejection redirected you toward purpose. Every closed door was a divine barricade, keeping you from people who couldn't carry your light. It's painful, yes, but there's purpose in the pain. You were being refined, not ruined. You were being set apart, not abandoned. You were being elevated in the spirit long before it showed up in your physical life. And the people who couldn't see your worth, they weren't meant to, because they couldn't even see their own. But hear me clearly, none of this has been in vain. The heartbreak, the confusion, the loneliness, it was sacred preparation. And now you are seeing with new eyes. You no longer take people at face value. You listen with your spirit. You trust your discernment. That's not paranoia. That's wisdom born of warfare. And now you know the spiritual paradox. The more they tried to break you, the more they revealed your unbreakable nature. The more they tried to silence you, the louder your spirit roared. The more they made you feel like the problem, the more clearly you saw the truth, that you were the solution. Chosen one, you are not here to fit in. You are not here to be liked. You are here to awaken, to walk into rooms and shift atmospheres, to carry the frequency of truth in a world addicted to illusion. That's why your journey has been so different. You're not here to repeat cycles, you're here to break them. And that's not a small task. That's why the pressure was unbearable at times. That's why it felt like you were drowning in emotions no one could understand. Because your soul has been on assignment, not just for your own growth, but for the liberation of others connected to you. Your rise is not just about you. It's about them, the ones watching you in silence, the ones who need to see someone like them make it out, the ones who think they're too broken, too lost, too far gone. Your story is their permission. Your healing is their hope. That's why you were attacked. That's why the enemy fought so hard to silence you, because your voice carries freedom, your presence carries activation. You are a walking reminder that it is possible to go through hell and still radiate light. And that terrifies the forces of darkness. So now, chosen one, own it. Own the weight, own the scars, own the calling. Stop apologizing for the depth of your soul. Stop dimming your light to protect fragile egos. Stop making excuses for why you feel so much, know so much, sense so much. You are gifted. You are sensitive because you're spiritually awake. And that awareness is your power, not your weakness. You didn't go through all of that just to go back to pretending. You didn't survive hell just to live in spiritual denial. You're not meant to live like everyone else because you aren't like everyone else. And the more you embrace your difference, the more you walk in destiny. So breathe deeply. Exhale the shame. Let go of the guilt. And remember, what they tried to destroy in you was the very thing God intends to use. Your pain will preach. Your wounds will speak. Your tears will teach. You are not a victim. You are a vessel, and now your soul's mission is unfolding like a divine scroll. Every step, every lesson, every heartbreak is being woven into something greater than you can even imagine. You didn't lose time. You didn't miss your chance. Everything is right on time, because the delay was development, the setback was setup, and the silence was spiritual strategy. This is your moment of recognition, not from the world, from yourself. You are remembering who you are. The reason you were attacked is the same reason you are about to rise higher than ever before. Chosen one, breathe this in. Let it settle in your spirit like holy fire. You are not broken, you are not forgotten, you are not late, and you have never been less than worthy. Everything you've endured, every tear you've cried in secret, every betrayal that cut deep into your being, it has all led to this sacred truth. You were chosen. Not chosen by the world, but by the divine. Not selected for popularity, but handpicked for purpose. God didn't place you on this earth to fit into shallow spaces or entertain empty conversations. He placed you here to disrupt cycles, to heal legacies, and to walk as living proof that the light wins, even after the darkest nights. There is no more denying it. The warfare was real, the heartbreak unbearable, the loneliness thick as a fog, but your spirit still standing, still burning, still open. And now you're stepping into your reward, not because you earned it through works, but because you remained faithful when no one else could see the pain behind your eyes. This is what they never understood, that while they were laughing at your delay, you were being reshaped by the hands of heaven. That while they tried to sabotage your path, the detours only brought you closer to divine alignment. They didn't see the angels that surrounded you in the silence. They didn't hear the conversations God had about you behind the veil. But you knew, something deep in you always knew, that this wasn't the end, that this wasn't how your story would finish. And now that knowing is becoming manifestation. You are the chosen one, not because you were better than anyone else, but because you were willing to break, willing to be misunderstood, willing to sit in the discomfort of growth, willing to walk alone rather than dilute your truth to fit in. And for that courage, heaven is about to make you a sign and a wonder. People will look at your life and see the fingerprints of God. People will feel your energy and sense the cleansing, the power, the wisdom you carry. And those who mocked you, they'll fall silent, not because you demanded respect, but because your presence will command it. You will walk in such authority, such grace, that even your silence will echo truth. You won't need to defend your name anymore. The evidence of your elevation will speak for itself. Let them wonder how you did it. Let them ask where the glow came from, how the peace returned, how the blessings keep finding you. Because the answer is simple. God did it. He restored what they broke. He revived what they buried. He resurrected what was declared dead. And he did it through you. So now, precious soul, the invitation is clear. Do not go back to the old version of you, the version that tolerated too much, that played small to avoid attention, that let fear masquerade as wisdom, that settled for half-loves and shallow spaces. That version was a cocoon, but now you are the butterfly. You are the lion awakened, the prophet reformed, the healer who bleeds wisdom, the warrior who chose love over revenge. And now that you've remembered who you are, stay there, root yourself in it, speak it daily, move like it's already done, walk like you know angels walk beside you, talk like heaven is listening, live like your life is holy ground, because it is. No more pretending, no more apologizing for your sensitivity, your depth, your discernment. Those were always your superpowers. Your sensitivity is not a flaw, it's a signal. Your emotions are not a weakness, they are sacred instruments. Your discernment is not paranoia, it is divine intelligence. You are not crazy, you are connected. You are not soft, you are sacred. You are not too much, you are exactly who you were meant to be. And now a spiritual call is rising, not from me, but from within you. Listen closely. There's something your soul has been whispering. It's time. It's time to speak again, to trust again, to create again, to forgive yourself, to love like it's safe, to walk like you are protected, because you are, to own your anointing, to stop watering down your magic for people who never saw your worth, to shine boldly, fully, unapologetically. This is not a suggestion. This is divine instruction, because you are needed. Your voice, your gifts, your presence. Someone's freedom is waiting on your yes. Someone's healing is tied to your obedience. Someone's clarity will arrive when you stop hiding. So rise up, chosen one. Rise from the ashes, from the confusion, from the doubt, from the pain, Let the world see what God can do with a soul that refused to die in the dark. You are not here to merely survive. You are here to reign. Walk in it. Live in it. Speak it. I am chosen. I am called. I am protected, and I am rising. Say it until it becomes your nature. Say it until it replaces the old script of fear. Say it until every cell in your body aligns with truth. Say it until your spirit catches fire again. And now, before this message closes, I want you to do one last thing. Not for me, for you. Wherever you are, whisper a thank you. To the pain that made you grow. To the silence that made you listen. To the heartbreak that taught you boundaries. To the isolation that taught you alignment. To the darkness, because without it, your light would have never discovered itself. And now, exhale, breathe, you're free. This is not the end, it's the beginning. Go forward. The path is clear, the blessing is near, the protection is thick, the glory is undeniable. And from this day forward, walk like the chosen one you are. The world has no idea what's about to rise through you, but heaven does. And so do you. Until next time, beloved, stay aligned, stay lit, and never forget who you are.